Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton. You know, I love to tinker with things to see if I can make them work better. And goodness knows, with a house, there's never any end to the projects around here. But there's one thing I don't have to worry about, and it's one of the most important components in our home fire sprinkler system. Now, a lot of folks don't realize how important home fire sprinklers are. If they did, more people would have them. Having sprinklers is like having a firefighter on duty in your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've got several other good reasons to be glad I've got sprinklers in my house, and here's one of them. Hey, buddy. Young children and older adults are at the greatest risk for fire. Also, people with disabilities are at great risk because they can't move quickly enough to get out of the way. It's very comforting for me to know that when I'm on the road traveling, my family is protected with home fire sprinklers.
Take a look at this footage of a burning home and you'll see why home fires are so dangerous. A home fire burns and spreads very fast. It can become deadly in just a matter of minutes. The contents in a home burn quickly and intensely, producing thick, poisonous smoke and extreme temperatures that can kill with a single breath. Without fire sprinklers, a home can go from spark to tragedy in the blink of an eye.
I personally experienced this and other fires working as a news correspondent. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that fire spreads extremely rapidly. It's a frightening experience, and it played a major role in my decision to live in a sprinklered home. Another tragic story. You know, 8 out of 10 fire deaths happen where people least expect it, right in their own homes. Residential fires kill more than 3,000 people every year. I wish more people lived in sprinklered homes like you or I do. As more people learn how valuable they are, fewer will die in home fires. Before I show you our installation, here are a few basic facts about your home fire sprinkler system.
Each sprinkler in your home works independently. Only the sprinkler closest to the fire will activate, and only when the temperature gets very, very hot. I know you've probably seen a lot of movies where all the sprinklers went off all at once. Well, that's just Hollywood special effects. Sprinklers work fast. In fact, sprinklers work so quickly that they often put the fire out before the fire department arrives. Fire sprinklers control the flames and help slow the spread of poisonous smoke. That gives people in the home extra time to get out safely.
And burnt toast, cigars, or other smoke can't set sprinklers off accidentally. Only the extreme heat of a fire can cause them to operate. Now, sometimes in very large fires, a second nearby sprinkler might also go off. But a recent study showed that in 90% of the cases, only one sprinkler was required to control the fire.
A sprinkler system is specially designed for the home where it's installed. Different in each home. It's a very simple principle, but don't let the simplicity fool you. If a fire strikes, nothing is as effective at saving lives as a fire sprinkler system.
I'm going to show you our sprinkler system and give you some tips on how to keep yours operating properly. It's easy, come on. In most cases, the water supply for the sprinkler system is the household water main.
The connection between the water main and sprinkler system is called a riser. The riser is the control center for your sprinkler system. If required by your local water authority, you may have to have a backflow valve on your riser. If so, an annual inspection test may be required.
Now, in our case, we installed a sprinkler system in a 35-year-old house with very low water pressure. To solve that problem, we put in a 300-gallon water tank. Now, that's plenty of water to do the job, and it's pressurized with this pump right down here. From here on, my system is pretty typical. If you have a well and for whatever reason the well and pump can't deliver enough supply and pressure, well, you may also have a tank. Now, this is my riser. Here's the pressure gauge, the flow switch, and the water shutoff valve. Now, sprinkler systems occasionally require a little simple maintenance, which you can do yourself. Make sure that the water shutoff valves are in the open position. Now, it's really easy to tell. An open valve is parallel to the pipe. In the off position, it's perpendicular. But one way to make sure that it never gets turned off accidentally is to lock it. Now, from time to time, you'll also want to perform a flow test. The test valve is labeled like this, and here's how I do it. Oh, and before you open the valve, be aware of where the water's discharging. I open the valve very, very slowly and let the water run to the outside for about a minute to a minute and a half. If you have an alarm, after about a minute you should hear the alarm sound. Once you've verified that the water is flowing and the alarm is working, you want to turn this off slowly. You want to avoid that banging sound that some people call water hammer. Now that was pretty simple, wasn't it? I didn't even need my toolbox. Now, if your sprinkler system is connected to a central alarm system, it's very important to notify them when you do your flow test so that they'll know that this is not a real fire.
If you're uncomfortable doing a flow test yourself, call a sprinkler contractor.
Now, while we're down here in the basement, it's a good opportunity to get a look at the system because the pipes are all exposed here. In the rest of the house, of course, they'd be behind the walls and above the ceiling. Also, right up here where this sprinkler is low and exposed, we've chosen to put a cage over it to protect it from getting accidentally bumped. Now, the sprinklers in your home may be concealed in the ceiling, exposed in the ceiling, or exposed in the wall like this one right here. This is called a sidewall sprinkler. Each sprinkler can cover an area of at least 12 feet by 12 feet, and they're strategically placed throughout the room to provide complete coverage and protection. Most of the sprinklers in our house are concealed behind white plates that help them blend into the ceiling. Pretty inconspicuous, huh?
In a fire, the concealing plate pops off first when the temperature around it reaches about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. The sprinkler will operate shortly after that.
This is what the sprinkler underneath the cover plate looks like. Now, when the ceiling temperature reaches about 135 to 165 degrees, this little tube right here bursts and the sprinkler activates.
If you live in an area where freezing is a concern and have pipes in your attic, take a look around to make sure the insulation has not been moved.
Here are some tips to keep your sprinkler system in top working condition. To avoid damage, never hang anything from the sprinkler, the piping, or the plates that conceal the sprinklers.
Remember, if you have sidewall mounted sprinklers, be aware of your pipes. If you want to hang something on the wall, make sure you nail into the stud to avoid the pipes. Be careful when you're moving tall or awkward items. You don't want to bump the sprinkler with anything.
Whenever you're painting walls or ceilings, avoid getting paint on the sprinklers or the concealing plates. Dried paint could cause the sprinklers to malfunction. Teach your children to treat your sprinklers the same way they would your home's electrical or plumbing systems. Remember, sprinklers are not toys. They should be off limits to kids. Even though our homes have sprinklers, the ultimate in home fire protection, we still need to have working smoke alarms installed to tell us when there's smoke in the home. And, by the way, remember to test these once a month. It's also a good idea to hold family fire drills a couple of times a year to practice how to get out in case there would be a fire. Now, even with sprinklers, it's important to be able to move quickly, know where to go, and to stay outside until the fire department arrives.
Your fire sprinklers will work automatically if you ever have a fire in your home. Whether you're home or not, whether you're awake or not, if a fire breaks out, your sprinklers will quickly and automatically put water on a fire while it's still small. That means you'll have extra time to get out, and that extra time can save your life and the lives of your loved ones.
Now, we like to call that peace of mind. And now that you know more about your own home fire sprinkler system and see how simple it is to keep it in good working order, we believe that you will too. If you'd like more information on home fire sprinklers, visit the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition website, www.homefiresprinkler.org. Thanks for watching.